As we said, there's a twist in the tariff war, a pause for Canada and Mexico, but no respite for China. And China is fighting back in two ways. One is retaliatory tariffs, and the second is investigating U.S. companies. Listen to this.
The State Council Tariff Commission issued an announcement today stating that, starting from February 10, 2025, additional tariffs will be imposed on certain imported goods originating from the United States. Specifically, a 15% tariff will be applied to coal, liquefied natural gas, and a 10% tariff will be imposed on crude oil, agricultural machinery, large displacement vehicles, and pickup trucks.
That's China's tit-for-tat move. But the tariffs won't come into effect immediately. China has given the U.S. time till Monday, February 10th. Time to think. 6 days for President Trump to change his mind. So while Beijing wants to project strength, it is also hoping for a compromise. In multiple statements, China has said that it is ready to negotiate. Meet us halfway. That is the message from Beijing. The message from Beijing to Washington. So the door is open for Trump. If he wants a deal, this is his chance. Reports say US President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping have scheduled a phone call. It could happen as soon as this week, and Trump has laid down his expectations.
What about China?
China will be speaking to China probably over the next 24 hours.
On fentanyl in China, President Trump.
We don't want fentanyl coming into our country.
So you don't have to guess the agenda for the call between Trump and Xi Jinping. And in anticipation, China is posturing carefully. Its retaliatory tariffs are basically a message. They're telling Trump that China, the world's second largest economy, won't be pushed around, and that it has the tools to retaliate. This will hurt both the US economy and US businesses. And like I said, import tariffs are just one part of China's response. The second part are the investigations. Beijing has launched probes into many American businesses. One of them targets Google, the search giant. China claims that Google may have violated its anti-monopoly law. So regulators are now investigating. And I know it sounds a bit odd because Google is banned in China. China has banned Google and its products. So how can they be investigated under China's anti-monopoly law? Because despite the bans, Google still has a small presence in China. It offers its ad services to Chinese internet companies. Experts say this business is now facing investigation. Separately, China's Commerce Ministry is scrutinizing PVH Corp. This is a holding company. It owns brands like Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger. It has been added to China's unreliable entities list. Now, what does that mean? Well, Beijing is accusing PVH of discriminating against Chinese enterprises and harming the rights and interests of local companies. Like the case against Google, the charges against PVH are broad and vague. There is no official statement from any government agency spelling out these allegations in detail. There may not even be a real case against them. Obviously, China is not seeking justice here. It is using the process as punishment. These companies will suffer under prolonged scrutiny. They could face restrictions in the Chinese market, and Beijing could even impose heavy penalties on them. As you know, transparency has never been China's strong suit. The longer this drags on, the greater would be the risk for these firms. And if China escalates this fight, American businesses will take an even bigger hit. It is a fact that the US does a lot of business in China. In 2022, this trade was worth over $750 billion. And this includes both goods and services. So Trump's options are quite limited, frankly. Is he prepared for a prolonged trade war? Can he sustain it? Can US businesses handle China's retaliation? These are all questions that Washington will have to consider. Donald Trump was elected on the promise to put America first, but his actions could backfire on American companies. His trade war could choke US businesses. It's not clear how long he'll keep doing this, but we can say that it will test the resilience of the US economy. We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. And now, touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
We were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.